mindset, uplift, manifest, momentum, mindset, uplift, manifest, momentum, mindset, uplift, manifest.
All right, everyone, welcome into the show. You're running with the Runners Live. It is Tuesday, April 6, 2021. Today, we are going to look at, do you want to be rich or do you want to be wealthy? And there's a huge difference. As always, I have my good brother, Ricardo Hamilton here. We just got off a nice Easter weekend. The weather is amazing. What's going down, man? How you doing?
Man, I can't complain, brother. Like you said, the weather's good. We just got off the weekend, and assets are hotter than ever right now to acquire. I'm telling you, we're just watching the wealth transfer in live, real effect right now, in real time. We're watching it in real time, and it's crazy. It's a lot going on.
It really is just astonishing to me. I mean, it isn't, but it's still overwhelming of how we've called all this. You know, how we've tried to put people in position, and how, you know, predictions and things we warn about continue to keep happening. And, you know, you can't wake everyone up. You can't save all the people, but we're giving it our best here, Ricardo. You know, and so many people on our team are winning. We're helping people from all over the world get real assets. And tonight, you know, we want to look at what is the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Before that, Raymond, an XRP smile. I don't own any XRP. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't own any crypto, any gold or silver.
Yeah. All right. So where are we at on the assets here? Gold, over 11 trillion market cap once again. Down a little bit today at 1740. Apple at about 2.1 trillion, up a little bit today. And then it looks like most of the other assets fell in the last 24 hours. Silver, you know, we're going to talk about a lot about, as I see Liz Frank giving us the hashtag Silver for Freedom. Silver's at 1.375 trillion market cap. And the banksters have rigged the price today to $25.17. Now, Ricardo, can you find silver for $25.17 anywhere in the world right now?
I wish.
If anyone knows where I can buy silver for $25.17, please let me know. I would take everything that they have. Bitcoin down about 2% today at 57,000.
Look where it is, Mike. I mean, Bitcoin is right under silver, and I mean, what, $300 more billion, which Bitcoin is going to do. It's going to take the market cap of silver. You know, I mean, just to show you once again, I mean, massively undervalued asset. They're manipulating and rigging the price of a hard asset like silver, and it's crazy because silver is an industrial metal as well as a monetary metal, as well as in healthcare and in clothing and everything else. And it has a greater need in the real world. And I mean, it's just amazing time for those who getting real physical silver right now. You know, the best thing, you know, you can get, in my opinion.
Without a doubt. And we're going to talk about that here in a minute.
Yeah.
The cryptocurrency, mixed ups and downs today. As Raymond said, lots of people talking about XRP again. And guys, I just want to reiterate, I said this multiple times, that XRP lawsuit was a complete scam. Why all these exchanges stopped listing it is beyond me. The goal was to get you to sell your asset. And I told multiple people, I know I said it on the live multiple times, that lawsuit's bunk. All that was FUD to get you to sell your XRP. So I hope you didn't fall for the banksters' tricks. That's exactly what they're doing with silver now. Keep the price down, keep it boring, so it's not flashy, it's not sexy, and you stop buying silver. That's what they want. How do we win? We get physical silver in our own possession and extract that wealth from the system. XRP up 87% this week. Polkadot.
It's big.
One of our other favorites up 25% this week. And guys, don't forget about Theta. Theta's down 6.8% this week at $12. We've already almost hit 15. Again, it's not rocketing right now. But again, don't forget about it, because when it hits 20 and 30, you're going to wish you'd bought at 12. So don't sleep on Theta. Let's see any other big winners today. Bitcoin, gold, whatever. Anything's going to go up now. Helium is one I wish I would have gotten to earlier. I am going to look at trying to start to mine that or kind of harvest it using their system. But you know, it's crypto, guys. There's gains every day. I like Solana. What should we buy now?
Yeah, a lot of big ones up. And I mean, once again, when I look at this stuff, man, I'm like, people don't even know how to rub two nickels together. I mean, and we sitting here looking at 50, 80, 100%. I mean, you know, because most people leave their money in the bank. You know, they sit on cash. They put in a savings account. I mean, even when you look at the stock market, you know, I mean, you know, 2%, 5%, maybe 3% on I mean, 50%, 100%. I mean, Wink, I've been meaning to get some Wink just because of the hype of it, like a Doge. I mean, up 405%. You know, that's one of those things where I would get and sell. I'm definitely not holding, but I mean, just it's crazy speculation, but it's also a crazy opportunity to take a little bit of nothing and turn it into something, especially when you know the dollar's just, you know, just going to go down anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
I did buy some Holo today. I will, in full disclosure, I've been meaning to get it for a while. It had a big pull up and it went down 19% today. So I bought the dip and got some hollow chain. And I'm also going to look at trying to mine that as well. By mine, I don't mean like, you know, building a rig or anything. It's pretty simple. So Ricardo, do you think we should talk about the issue with silver before the article or after?
Yeah, we could talk about it after the article. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into, guys. Let me kind of set this up here. This is from Clever Girl Finance by Mariah Costa from February 7th, 2021. Rich versus wealthy, key differences between the two. So let me blow this up a little bit for you guys. When we think of someone being rich versus wealthy, we might think it's the same thing, but it's not. For some reason, the words rich and wealthy are often incorrectly used to describe the same thing. They might seem synonymous, but they're completely different. Being rich and being wealthy are not the same thing. Being rich is simply having a lot of money or income. It comes down to how much cash you have in your bank account. But just because you're rich doesn't mean you're wealthy. In fact, being rich can also mean that you are spending a lot of money. It can also mean that you have a lot of debt. It doesn't matter how much money you have if your expenses are higher than your income. And again, we're not going to agree with everything she says. So she says being in debt is definitely not something to aspire to. It depends on the debt. There's good debt and there's bad debt. That's kind of one of the nuances or key differences a lot of people don't know. People who are rich might drive a fancy car or live in an amazing house in the best part of town, but it comes at a cost. If you make 200 grand a year but spend 225 in expenses, you might seem rich, but you're on your way to going broke. And this is where a lot of America's at. Even those people who have good jobs, they're having money come in, but the only way that it comes in is when they work their job and it goes out right again because they want to live a certain lifestyle. So MC Hammer had 30 million in the bank and $1 million house with 200 staff members and a horse stable. But all those expenses took a toll, and all that spending, along with lawsuits, resulted in him declaring bankruptcy. And he ended up 13 million in debt. So what does it mean to be wealthy? Being wealthy is not only having enough money to meet your needs, but being able to afford not to work if you don't have to. And that's what we've been talking about this whole time. It's about amassing assets and making your money work for you. In other words, it's about having significant net worth. Wealthy people don't necessarily own the latest gadgets or cars or throw lavish parties. What they do have is a lot of assets. And what is on the top of our screen every night, guys? Assets over liabilities. So, she goes on to talk about Jeff Bezos and Warren Buffett because of their massive wealth and the amount of assets they have. So, Ricardo, before we read more from the article, let me just get your take on, the misconception people have of being rich versus wealthy. And then what does it mean to be wealthy, and how have we tried to teach people that in the last 6-7 months?
Yeah, I mean, this is why you're running with the runners, because we build in wealth, folks. We're not talking about necessarily getting rich. We're talking about having assets, that will produce an income for you, that will give you that time and location and financial freedom. That's really what it comes down to. A lot of people who are rich, like you heard in the article, they actually might have a high paying job or entertainer. You got to understand something, that football players, NBA players, soccer players, though they're rich, okay, they still work a job. They are still technically like an employee. They don't own the team, right? They're not the owners, they're the players, but they're rich, right? But rich is different from wealthy, right? And this is where I get excited, because I know for a fact that we are building wealth, not just for ourselves, but for generations to come. And because of the systems that we're using, they're creating a cash flow for us, okay, that is building up, right? And over time, the idea is you'll find yourself having time and location freedom, because your assets and the system that you're using to create an additional stream of income or cash flow for yourself, okay, is doing that for you. It's doing what it's supposed to do, right? So no, I love it. I think she hit on the nail. We're building wealth and assets and creating an additional stream of income. All day I choose to be wealthy as opposed to rich.
Yeah, and it's that you don't need to flex. You don't need to ball out, and show off all this, not that you can't enjoy life and have fun and buy some special things. But if that's all you're doing is I want to make it seem like I'm rich and I'm wealthy, and I'm sorry, not wealthy. I'm rich and I have all these lavish things, you're going to lose. That's just silly to buy that many liabilities when you're not buying assets as well.
Yeah.
So the difference between being rich and wealthy, there's a bit more to being rich versus wealthy than how much money you have in your bank account. In fact, it's possible for someone who makes less than a rich person to actually be wealthier than the rich person with the fancy car and latest fashion designs. That's because rich people spend a lot of money, but wealthy people save and invest most of their money, I would add, in assets. Wealthy people might have a lot of money, but they don't spend it all in one go. And they certainly don't use debt unless it's for a very clear purpose. So I would say unless they're using good debt. Instead, a wealthy person saves as much money as possible and invests it in assets. And remember, the dollar is not money. We're saving in assets. And you could say gold and silver is money, the dollar is not. That might mean buying real estate or investing in the stock market or crypto or buying gold and silver. Regardless of how they invest, wealthy people know that in order to grow their wealth, they need to turn their cash into assets. I mean, Ricardo, there's the softball for you. I just tossed it to you. You can knock it out of the park. That's what we've been talking about.
The runners.
Get a business, get cash flow, get assets. Pitch to you.
Yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, folks, this will get excited. We in it for the long term. Wealth is long term. Riches, you could be rich today and broke tomorrow. Or you can have $1 million and spend 1.5 in expenses and really be broke. This is why the runners, I'm telling you, this is why we're so dynamic and so unique about what we're doing, and those who are following us and running with us, the position that they're in, because there are a lot of people who are pushing a product, who are pushing a service or a book or a script or a class or training. And that's great. And you're going to get, probably the same motivational information you could have got for free on YouTube, or you could have got at your local library reading a motivational positive book. But it's, where is that system? Where is that company? Where is that opportunity? Where is that network of people where they're actually doing it, right? And this is why I get excited, because they're right here with the runners. We're using systems like 7K metals, okay, to get bullion, the highest asset class of gold and silver, numismatic coins, creating additional stream of income from saving our money and helping other people build wealth and saving our money. And we're getting paid from that system, so we don't have to liquidate our assets in time of need, right? This is why I love what the runners are doing, because we're taking advantage of the market activity and where the movement of money is, like cryptocurrency. The big banks, the retail investors, okay, the hedge funds, they're all getting into crypto in some form or fashion, right? And so when we're talking about, you know, building wealth and legacy and assets and cash flow, this is what we like to do. We specialize in finding those companies like 7K Metals, okay, that are solid, that are going to be there for the long term to give you that security, that wealth, and that generational legacy, you know, security for yourself and your family, you know, better quality of lifestyle. This is what we're about.
So I'm going to disagree with you here a little bit, but, you know, we'll give our opinions and see how this goes here. Mm-hmm. So this is her talking about how to become wealthy. If you want to become wealthy, there are a few things you can do to get started. Don't focus on how big your paycheck is. I agree. It's not about how much you make. You also want to avoid schemes that sell you ideas to get rich quickly. Again, we're not talking about that, guys. This is not a get rich quick scheme. It's a get wealthy slowly plan is what we're doing. Instead, follow these steps to eliminate bad debt and have the right mindset when it comes to amassing wealth. So she says, save 10 to 15% of your paycheck every month. And I would say save it in an asset. So let's pick a really low number, right? Like $2,000 a month. That's 10% is $200. $200 going into assets. You got $100 for your autosaver, $100 into crypto. That's just making $2,000 a month. Pay off bad debt, starting with high interest debt. Invest as soon and as much as you can. Don't splurge on unnecessary expenses, and review your long-term financial goals frequently. So the first step, save a portion of your paycheck every month, no matter how much or how little you make. Always set aside at least 10 to 15% every month. And again, you know, she talks about automating this. I highly recommend that. Is, you know, people do that with 401ks. You know, we're not big fans of 401ks, but a lot of people do that. How do we do this? We use the autosaver with 7K. When it comes to crypto, you could automate that as well using crypto.com, which we've recommended and reviewed and gone over. You can set up auto buys and sells on a bunch of the major cryptocurrencies. So again, guys, we talk about this all the time. It's not about taking $10,000 and throwing it into a crypto and hope it goes up. Okay. It's called dollar cost averaging, you know, automatically, consistently doing something over time. I don't care if it's $10. I saw a post a couple months ago where a guy was like celebrating, I have 1 Bitcoin now. How did I do this? I bought $10 a week from like 2017 or 2018 to 2020. It was a very low amount. Maybe it's $20 a week. And he amassed 1 full Bitcoin by buying $20 of Bitcoin a week consistently for about 2.5 years. That's what he did. So Ricardo, you know, your take on how do we use 7K and other systems to automate this saving in assets weekly or monthly?
Yeah, I mean, we just find solid companies, but I like what you said, Mike. One thing that people need to focus on is the consistency is what's key. And anytime you want to see results, you have to do something over a period of time, and you have to continue to do it. And then when you look back over a period of time, you will see the fruits of your labor. You will see that safe, okay, starting to stack up with silver. You'll see your business, your organization starting to grow. You will see the income starting to increase or become more frequent because you stayed the course, because you were consistent in your pursuit of happiness, right? Financial security, right? Time, location, financial freedom. So I think that's the key thing in all of it, because she didn't say save 10%, 15% for the first month. No, that's something you do over a period of time consistently. It's like you said, Mike, people continually contributing to their 401k on a consistent basis, right? Until they retire, and whatever they left over with after the market crashes and devaluation of the dollar is what they got, right? But this is why, you know, once again, we get excited because, folks, the time that we're in right now is literally the most significant time period in history. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We are living in the most significant time period in history. I don't care what book you're reading. This time period we're in is the whole world is going to be affected because of this debt-based fiat monetary system dealing with this Federal Reserve's note. Okay? And just understand that what you are doing today is going to have ripple effects for 7 generations to come. Okay? For 7 generations. You're going to leave an inheritance for your family because of where we are right now. And this is why I get excited, because we're not just telling people, look, get rich. We want you to make money. Okay? Get as much money as you can. No, we don't really talk about money. Money is a byproduct of us acquiring assets and using systems of leverage. We talk about getting gold, silver especially, and cryptocurrency, because where the economy is going, where the world is changing, we want to make sure that the people are prepared. We want to wake the people up, because a lot of people, and I'll say it again, are suffering from a normalcy bias, complacency bias, cognitive dissonance. Okay? The whole economy is in uncharted territory, and we are not only saving our lives, but we're saving the lives of our future generations to come because of our decisions today. This is why I say, if you didn't come from a wealthy family, this is the opportunity to make sure that a wealthy family comes from you. You see it right there on the shirt.
And I was talking to one of my friends last night, Ricardo, who's been in construction, and he's worried that people are going to stop hiring him because the cost of materials is going through the roof.
Yeah.
He said he did a quote on a garage. Just the materials to do whatever this guy wanted was $5,000. He said a year ago, the materials would have cost $1,500.
That's where the inflation is, Mike. You know, they're concealing and hiding the inflation. And when they do the inflation numbers, they don't count the commodity prices. They don't count the copper has, I think, went up over 300, 400%. I mean, it's, you know, copper was around $1, $2. Now it's what, 3, 4, 5. I mean, you know, that's where the inflation is, right? And it's going to hit people in another way. And this, once again, though, for those who saving in the right assets, okay, you won't feel the inflation as much, because you're going to feel wealthier because your assets have increased in value. But I mean, if you put up a chart on copper, Mike, you look, maybe you can go back, you know, a year or two. Pre-pandemic.
I'm pulling it up right now. It looks like it's doubled.
10 years. Yeah, it's probably double. You know, I mean, if you go back since 08, because understand, the world goes from financial crisis to financial crisis. And whatever twist the politicians and the Federal Reserve do to the monetary system is what allows it to continue, because otherwise it would just naturally collapse, because it's like a Ponzi scheme. You know, you got to have more money to keep it going. Well, we got to keep borrowing to keep the system going, because if the country or the government didn't continue to borrow the money, everything stops. There's no velocity. There's no liquidity. Okay. And the whole system shuts down because ain't no more money moving through it. But the problem is we don't have money moving through the economy. We have debt moving through the economy. So what happens in turn is everybody's not getting debt or wealthier or getting money. They're getting debt. They're getting poor because the thing that we're getting from the government, which came from the Federal Reserve, is continuing to lose value year over year the more that they print it. I mean, it's probably the greatest, you know, scam or trick in history. You know, allowing the American people in the world to accept a paper for money, to represent something of value, your labor, your time, and I mean, folks. So this is why the period that we're in is so dynamic, is so serious that people wake up and start saving in physical assets and getting into certain crypto.
And we haven't gotten a chance to talk about this, but I heard about I think it's rhodium.
Yeah, rhodium.
A couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Ricardo, an ounce of rhodium was a little under $8,000.
Okay.
Right now, rhodium is at $29,000.
Wow.
That's a 3x from a metal because it's not manipulated like silver is. This is what should be happening to silver.
Yeah.
If it was really in a free market.
Well, what we said, so that was like 3x, right?
Yeah.
3x.
$8,000. It was down to 72 in April, and it hit 29.4.
Yeah, we should easily see silver. I don't know the date, but over $100 easily. I mean, I would have to think, relatively soon with the acceleration of events that are happening in the physical market, dealing with the suppliers and the dealers. And of course, with this continuation of the masses of people waking up, whether we're talking about Wall Street silver, okay, and whether we're just talking about the regular, retail and institutional buyers who've been buying silver and knew the monetary system was messed up, whether they got woken in 2000, because some people got woke in 2000, some people got woke in 2008. Well, a lot of people are getting woke right now, but instead of a crash, we're having the opposite of it, which is not a good thing. It's like an implosion or an explosion. At the end of the day, it still blows up, right? But it's just that type of environment that we're in.
And so that's why this last point here in the article I want to hit on is, of course, think about your long-term financial goals, manifest what you want. But guys, this is what it's about. This is why we do MUM, Mindset Uplift and Manifest Momentum. Wealth is a mindset, period. If you don't think that, you're probably not wealthy. Being wealthy doesn't start with a huge wallet full of cash. Like I said, it doesn't mean you have 10 grand to throw into the market. Wealth starts with the right mindset. Save a portion of your income, focus on becoming debt-free, and invest early and often into assets. If you want to be wealthy, you need to always think about your long-term goals. Do you want to retire early? Yes, please. Own a few houses, travel. When thinking about wealth, don't just focus on your income, but focus on building your investments and assets to last you a few lifetimes. I mean, Ricardo, this is exactly what we always say. Get a business, get cash flow, get assets, get your skills, get your network, and think about generational wealth. Stop making your minimums your maximums. So Ricardo, your take on just, again, frame it for us, the big difference of what's the big takeaways here of being rich versus wealthy.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you said, Mike. You say it all the time. I measure your wealth in ounces. You see, when you realize that the time that we're in, you don't want to necessarily measure your wealth in a dollar nominal amount. Now it's about how many of this particular asset do I have and how many of them will it take to get the other asset that I need or whatever I'm trying to exchange the value in for. That's why we say we measure our wealth in ounces. How many ounces of silver do you have? How many ounces of gold do you have? How many of a particular crypto, that number that you have? And, we did the show the other night and we're talking about, well, how many ounces does it take to be an asset millionaire? And, just this is the time, this is the time where you want to have the right mindset. You want to acquire the right assets and especially have cash flow, because once again, folks, if all you have is assets, it's just a matter of time before you have to liquidate them, because nobody really knows how long they can continue to manipulate this thing. They pretty much do have total control of the present system, but it's breaking down in ways that they can't really, repair. It's like they call it, they want to do stress tests and things, but stress tests for the next financial crisis, so we can see what'll happen and try to frame it a certain way, and it's all bad news for those who not awoke, but if you woke, and that's a loosely used term, okay, but you want to be definitely, getting assets, creating additional stream of income, having a home-based business, because once again, the taxes are coming. Mike put up the Robert Kiyosaki video, and the Robert Kiyosaki talked about him printing trillions of dollars, and they're looking to raise taxes. They're going to, that's a recipe to crash the capitalism, the dollar, the currency. I mean, the system that is not progressive. That's not pro growth. They say that's going to make people more poor. Okay.
Right. So the other big story I wanted to talk about today, and I mentioned this on the training, Ricardo, is the Perth Mint's in trouble. They're doing damage control. So John Adams is a reporter or some sort of personality in Australia, and he's been covering this. So John Adams here reporting on the latest scandal out of the Perth Mint. The Perth Mint has run out of Perth Mint 100-ounce silver bars, and 100-ounce silver bars backing their pool allocated products are silver bars from China, which are known to be fraudulent and fake. I have just received a message from a Perth Mint client. This morning, this client converted from pool allocated to allocated, was forced to take 15 Chinese refined Hunan, Goang, Xinjiang, whatever, 1,000-ounce bars. Investors who have converted to allocated should check their bars. Keep up to date with my news and my Twitter feed. And I have another one here. He says, I just received the following stunning message from a Kitco customer. A 1-year wait to get physical silver. Can the synthetic silver scam get any more insane? If you're a Kitco customer, please call them and stand for delivery. Little time left. So this is the guy commenting. Hello, John. I just converted 2,700 ounces to physical silver from Kitco Pool. They did not have any 100-ounce bars and only 330 10-ounce bars in inventory. I was getting mixed stories as to if they have all the silver to back up the entire pool. I did not get a good feeling. The wait to get physical silver is about 1 year, they told me. I hope this helps to keep people informed about the Kitco Pool account. I mean, Ricardo, you can't say we didn't try to tell them. You can't say we didn't warn you guys. And I'm telling you, in April 20-something is when it's going to pop off again. So if you want to get physical silver and you want to save in real assets that are at half of its all-time high, silver was $50 in 1980, guys. Silver was $50 an ounce in 1980, and it's $25 today. If that doesn't make sense, you need to get physical silver before April 20th. I'm just telling you, that's what I think. It's just my opinion. Ricardo, your thoughts on this? I guess it's Perth Mint and Kitco now that are running out of silver.
It's the COMEX. It's everybody. Okay, it's not just one. It's the whole system. Okay, it's that chain effect. It's happening in one area, it's happening somewhere else because everything is a globally connected economy, and it's all interconnected. But hey, look, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm buying some silver after this stream tonight. Okay, that's what I will do. I will be buying some silver tonight after this stream. Okay, and the thing about it is, I remember when silver last year or so was about $15 on spot, and it was plenty of it. So that's why we say you don't want to wait, because you don't know when that, and I say it, and I'll say it again. I haven't said it a while, but I'd rather be 1 year or even 2 years too early to the largest wealth transfer in history than be 1 day too late. Folks, you don't want to be 1 day too late. 1 day too late is just you're too late, and you don't know when that 1 day comes up. All of a sudden, a pandemic hit. You couldn't get silver. All of a sudden, Wall Street bets hits. You couldn't get silver. Okay, and what is it? What else is next? And now the demand and the interest and the realization of the need for the physical is fermenting even more amongst massive money printing and higher taxes. Okay, look, I'm going to have me some more silver. You better get as much as you can, because it's about preserving your life, wealth, and legacy.
Without a doubt, guys, that's why we love the Sound Money wallet. I signed up someone to 7K for today, and their number one thing was the Sound Money wallet. They loved it. They're like, that's the main reason I want to join. So as we kind of end tonight, Ricardo, I just wanted to give people an update on Copy Pro Traders. Things have been going amazing. I mean, look at these returns here, 4.5, 5.6. Again, guys, this is passive residual income that we brought to you guys well over a month ago. Here's a 10% trade, a 12.6%, a 23.7% trade right here with some EOS. So again, guys, this is what the wealthy do, is they have their money working for them. There's one that since the beginning of this month, Ricardo, one negative trade for 1%, and a couple more still open. So Copy Pro Traders is going amazing. We have, you know, all that stuff you can find in other places. And let's not forget, guys, live and create the culture we want with the runners.shop. We got t-shirts, hoodies, mugs. Again, this is the shirt I have on tonight, Wealthy Family. I measure my wealth in ounces. Mum, assets over liabilities. So again, guys, that helps support the stream and our content and what we do. That is the runners.shop, the runners.shop. Ricardo, any last words before we close out the stream?
No, you know, hey, Copy Pro Traders, man, look, we told you guys. Woo, we told you. No, I mean, you know, this is the thing. We just get excited because we're using systems where little to no risk. I mean, with Copy Pro Traders, we're talking about 100% control of the account, right? 100% control of your profits. And, you know, when I talked about it before, I talked about, you know, $1,000 getting 2% compounded. Okay, it's over $1 million after 12 months. I mean, so, you know, this is what we do. The runners are leveraging systems, okay, centralized and decentralized to build wealth in precious metal assets and crypto. You know, doing the largest wealth transfer in history. So look, now I'm fired up, man. This was a fantastic show, man. I love documenting this. I mean, like I said, folks, we literally are documenting the wealth transfer, documenting the collapse. Okay, you know, this is history. Okay, and so I love it. Awesome.
So tomorrow at 7 p.m., Ricardo's going to be giving, if you want wondering, like, what is 7K all about? You want all the details, all the ins and outs. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, there's the room ID. We will be doing a live Zoom presenting the best company I've ever found, 7K Metals. Yeah. So make sure you tune into that. And I think that's it, Ricardo.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Look, folks, lace up. Let's get wealthy.